Welcome everybody to Games Cast by PanderNyrl. If you wish to see more commented games, please follow my YouTube and Twitch pages below. On the blue team, we do see a Zed in the jungle, Lulu, Ezreal down bottom, Riven up top, or an Urgot up top, and a Riven or Urgot in the other position. Interesting choices for that team. For the red team, we do see a Nunu Twitch down bottom, Lee Sin up top, Talon in the middle, and a Mundo in the jungle. Really curious to see how Urgot does, either as a top or mid laner. Or maybe even Ezreal goes top or mid. I really can't tell from this lineup. I'm also curious to see how Zed does. I have not seen a Zed in a long time, as his energy just kind of feels off when you play him. It's like he never has enough energy to do what he wants. And that's been the problem with a lot of energy characters. They're really strong if you give them a lot of energy, but they're really weak if they don't have it. Score is 2-1 as we enter this ranked game with Zed and Urgot picking up kills. Looks like we do see Urgot in the middle against Talon. Looks like Zed is coming in for a gank. He is only level 3 and just does a little harassment. Not a whole lot happening from that. Any interesting starts? Looks like Urgot's going for a Brutalizer after picking up the Flask, which is going to do a fair bit of damage to that Lulu, but not a lot coming of it. Twitch is a little too low to actually engage, as he is out of potions at this point, and will be forced back. Looks like Mundo might try a gank on the middle lane, but Zed does spot him out, and Mundo will be okay thanks to his cleavers, but he is not going to be in good shape. Looks like Talon does jump in onto the Zed, and he will not take Zed down, as the Ignite does not do enough damage, but Talon goes down as well. Urgot is a great counter pick to all the AD bruisers in the game, as he is a ranged AD bruiser essentially. Lee Sin at top having a hard time against Riven, and this is looking like a very big snowball for the blue team. They are up 2,000 gold at this point, and the real saving grace is if Twitch can get to late game. If you have a Twitch Nunu late game, it is pretty ridiculous what they can do. Because the Blood Boil Twitch does so incredibly much damage in a team fight. You can instantly burst an entire team down if you actually get them grouped up. But the problem is getting the people grouped up, especially with Talon going for a Brutalizer. Looks like Urgot's going to hunt some damage in here onto Talon. And Talon will be forced to go back to base. He can't take another hit from an Acid Hunter missile. And I'd highly recommend picking Urgot mid if you want to do something. Looks like Lee Sin up top is going to jump in on Riven, doing a fair bit of damage. Riven is not 6 yet, and she will be able to get away in time, as she does flash at the last moment. Mundo was chasing, but never got in the range to land a cleaver. Looks like Twitch is just going to be able to farm down bottom, as I don't think either side really wants to take a fight, as they are fairly even thanks to the big attack speed boost by Nunu. And it looks like Twitch is going to jump in here and try and get Lulu. Nice exhaust being thrown out on both of the AD carries, but neither of them are low enough. Looks like Urgot's coming up here, and we'll get Mundo very low, but Mundo is just alive enough, and he will live thanks to popping a potion while running. Looks like Lee Sin is going to come in here. Will Lee Sin be able to land a kill? No, he's going to be a little too far away. And back to this bottom lane where both sides are extremely weak. But the advantage is Twitch has potions at this point. Ezreal does not. Ezreal is going for a Bloodthirster. I picked up 2 long swords. And will Lulu hit 6 in time? I don't think Lulu is not going to be 6 anytime soon, because that level 6 ultimate from Lulu does give a lot of health back. And it is a semi-heal that does go through Ignite, which is the strong thing. Looks like Twitch is stealthing up. Does throw the slow on Ezreal, but Ezreal does pop a heal. But that is a good use of summoner spells. You did burn it out, so you won't get baited by it later. I can definitely get behind that. The gold lead is still 2,000, as Urgot is dominating this mid lane against Talon. I'm just not sure what Talon can do, as he has pretty much been hard counter-picked, as Urgot is just so amazing in the middle lane. The shield prevents a lot of the harassment. He gets a lot of tanky stats. Twitch is going to run up here, and Lulu wisely just pops her Whimsy and runs away. But this does give Twitch a lot of time to free farm, and he is the high farmer in the game, sitting at 52 right now, with both Riven and Ezreal right behind him. Looks like there's a good bit of damage being exchanged. Mundo will be caught out in his own jungle, but will Zed be able to get a slow on him? I don't think he's going to, as he just does not have very good energy early game. Urgot will be hit, but the Haizinator does not go through. Lee Sin does have a blue buff at this point, but I'm not sure how well he's going to be able to use it, as he is just not strong as Riven early game. Lee Sin does throw the kick out, but he misses the Sonic Wave on the back end. And if you're going to kick someone with that Dragon Rage, you need to land the Sonic Wave on it. He just didn't do it a good time, and it was not enough damage on Riven. Lee Sin jumping in there with Safeguard, and he will land the Sonic Wave this time, waiting for the shield very nicely as he does get a kick off. But Riven still has her ultimate and will be able to finish off Lee Sin as they both go down in a 1-for-1 exchange. Looks like Twitch is still down bottom, taking a fair bit of harassment by this Ezreal Lulu. Ezreal Lulu is one of the best harassing lanes in the game, as they both have very long range poke abilities. We do see Zed clearing the jungle, and he has done a fairly good job for a jungler, really keeping Mundo out of a lot of these fights. And that's almost worth it if you can keep Mundo from farming and fighting. He has been a part of 3 of his team's 4 kills. Looks like Talon is going to be sent back to base by Urgot. That 2 acid hunters right there took him down to half health. It is pretty ridiculous. I'm surprised we have not seen more Urgots, especially mid lane Urgots. Because you get a bruiser, and he's ranged, so he can basically do what he wants. Switch running up here onto Ezreal. Does throw the slow, but it does not hit. He does pop his ultimate just to get some harassment out and to push this wave in. Looks like Lee Sin is coming in the middle, but the kinetic reverser on to Lee Sin will mean that Lee Sin is in trouble, but Talon will come in here at the last second. Will Talon be able to get the kill? Yes, he does, but the ultimate from Zed comes out, and Zed will be forced back, as Lee Sin does not want to go in after that Sonic Wave. Looks like Mundo is just going to take blue buff for himself, as I don't see anyone else really needing it. Twitch might be able to take it late game, but yeah, that's about it. Talon doesn't really need blue buff. Looks like Mundo's going to go middle and grab himself some farm, as he desperately needs it. He is down pretty heavily to Zed, as Zed's done a fairly decent job. I'm personally not a fan of him, as his energy regeneration just feels really lacking at the beginning. It's not someone like Lee Sin or Kennen, where you get a fair bit of energy back. And it looks like we do see Lee Sin jumping in onto Riven, but will not be in range to land the Tempest Cripple combo. And it looks like we're going to go for a stalemate for a few moments, unless Urgot can land that corrosive charge. Because if Urgot can land one, there's going to be some trouble for this Talon. As we've seen the last few times, every single time Urgot lands one, he takes Talon down to half health. Looks like Zed does come in here, and Mundo might be able to get a skill thanks to the exhaust. Yes, he will, but Mundo will pay for it with his own life, as Zed should, well, he does not, Zed does not have the damage to pursue. I'm kind of surprised there. He should have had just enough. Nunu does come in, gets the slow on Ezreal, and a fair bit of damage is exchanged. But the big thing is, basically, Ezreal's having an Arcane Shift on cooldown, and he does not have the mana to do that. Especially with that early Brutalizer build instead of going for Trinity Force. If you go Trinity Force, you can easily pick up an early Crystal, or what is that called? Sapphire Crystal, yeah. Trying to think of the color for a moment. You can easily pick up a Sapphire Crystal and be okay. Ezreal pops off his ultimate just to try and clear some creep waves. But this Twitch is doing a good job of farming down bottom. And we'll try and get on here on Ezreal, but he is not in range. Twitch is maxing the Expunge first, and has picked up a Vampiric Scepter so he can stay alive in these fights. And as I said a moment ago, Twitch is going to be the red team's salvation if they can get this game going late enough and he doesn't get picked off by Urgot. Looks like Urgot is going to go take the blue buff from Riven. But Mundo will be here to throw some nice harassment out there. But I don't think this is a wise idea by Mundo. Position reverser up onto Mundo, and he will be going down here. No chance. Looks like Zed has come down bottom and will be finishing off this Twitch as they do take a tower down bottom. But Nunu will get away. And that is a tower for its kill on Twitch. That's fairly worth it. But the big problem is Mundo is just so far behind at this point, as he's not going to be really tanky enough to be a big factor in these fights. And if the red team can extend the game long enough, it's not going to matter. But come mid-game, he's just going to be behind. Same thing with Talon. Talon is really far behind compared to Urgot. Looks like Lee Sin does jump in, and Urgot will throw a few Ass Hunters out, cutting him down to about 80% health. And there's 60% health. Talon does jump on Urgot and pops the ultimate, but he just flashes away. Zed does get kicked, and Lee Sin will finish him off with the Ignite, but Lee Sin will go down to the Corrosive Acid. Looks like Mundo runs in and will land a Cleaver. No, he misses the Cleaver, but he does have enough for the Burning Agony. And it looks like the red team is pinging top lane, as Riven is just going to keep pushing. Riven might be able to take this tower down, as that is a large minion wave stacked up for her. But the red team is just going to say, hey, we'll counter with a tower here. But they might not even get a tower thanks to Ezreal and Lulu running down running from the bottom lane. Riven up top will be taking this tower down, meaning it will be a 3-to-1 tower advantage for the blue team, and a 1-kill lead in addition to a almost 4,000 gold lead. Looks like Twitch does find Lulu. In the woods, Lulu does flash away, but Lulu is not long for this world. Twitch does not bother to pop Expunge, as he did not have enough damage to kill her. Though he might actually have, considering Expunge does not remove poison stacks anymore. And that's one of the big advantages Twitch has, is that poison does a lot of damage when you stack it up. Acid Hunters will come out onto Twitch, and even one of those cuts him down 10% of his health, if not more. Twitch has opted for a pickaxe next. Not sure what he's going to build out of that. Brutalizer up on Lee Sin and Talon. Lee Sin has also completed 2 Doran's Blades, and the lifesteal of the Vampiric Scepter. Looks like Zed coming in the middle, and they might try and push this out, as they do have 3 people for the blue team here. Though Talon does have pretty good wave clear. I'm not sure he's going to be able to use it, as Zed does pop his ultimate on Talon, and Talon will pop his own ultimate, trading ultimates. Not a bad trade. The Urgot does miss his acid, but Lee Sin will get onto Lulu, who does pop his ultimate, and a nice use of the ultimate onto Zed, as it does hit Lulu as well, and Lulu will go down to that Sonic Wave. In the middle, Mundo has exhausted this Urgot, and Urgot will pop his kinetic reverser, but not in time, as Lee Sin will actually get that kill. But the problem is Riven's still split pushing, and no one on the red team can 1v1 Riven. Looks like Twitch is going for the kill in the mid lane, as he does pick it up, but at the cost of his own life, so he took a little too much tower damage there. And let's see how far Riven's going to get this tower. It's going to be down at least a quarter of its health from all these minions. And that's worrisome, especially when no one on the red team can really fight Riven. Riven has completed a Black Cleaver and Vampiric Scepter in addition to Doran's Blade. Urgot going for the Frozen Heart after picking up the Black Cleaver. Riven will just come down middle and pick up that tower. The score is 8-9 with a 4,000 gold lead for the blue team, mostly thanks to towers and a very strong top and middle lane. Even Ezreal's farming very well bottom and hasn't died a whole lot. And it looks like the blue team is going to go for the first dragon of the game. They should have an easy time at it, but here comes Twitch spawning it out. But Twitch does not have any real backup, so they will just take this for free. We do see 4 Black Cleavers up on the blue team, as Riven, Zed, Ezreal, and Urgot have completed him. Talon is in a bit of trouble here, but he does pop his ultimate. But he will not be safe from the super speed of Riven. Mundo has completed his Warmongs as Lee Sin tries to get this top tower, but here comes Urgot. Urgot is kicked away, but the position reverser does mean that he is fairly safe, as each one of those Acid Hunter missiles really chunks Lee Sin down, taking easily almost 20% of his health down with every single missile. That is just a ridiculous amount of damage. Especially because with the corrosive charge being physical damage, it means that Urgot can stack that Black Cleaver up real fast. And keep it stacked for a long time. Like will pop his ultimate and be in a bit of trouble here as Mundo and Nunu do come in, but they decide not to dive the tower as they don't know where the rest of the team is. Lee Sin is going to be caught out by Riven, but he will try to go for Zed first, but no. Looks like Mundo's going to try and get on Zed, but Riven will keep him down. And that is a dead Mundo. He's not tanky enough to really do a whole lot in these fights, as he just went for pure health, and pure health is not that great, especially versus the mass Black Cleaver stacking. Looks like we do have Lulu picking up the Sight Stone, Phosphor Stone, and Kage's lucky pick, which is going for the Infinity Edge. Looks like Talon will get some good burst onto Lulu, but Lulu will just flash away. Though Talon will flash away as well. Nice exhaust by Nunu there to prevent a lot of damage from Riven. And both sides need to just back up, but here comes Urgot. He will land the Acid Hunters rather nicely, and he will pick up that kill with those, landing all 4 of them. And that's why Urgot is a real terror, as he can land that corrosive charge, pop out Acid Hunters, and there's nothing you can do. Their range is pretty ridiculous. And the fact that he has blue buff now means he can just spam those out all day long. Yeah, I do expect to see Urgot picked a lot now, especially if you can get him mid lane, because there's almost zero downside picking an Urgot mid lane compared to someone like Talon. Looks like Nunu will be jumped here, and the ultimate from Zed will not finish him off, but Riven does with her ultimate. And Twitch does come in at the end of that fight, but not getting a whole lot done, as he just doesn't have the damage at this point. If he can finish his Infinity Edge, it'll be real big, because they need that big crits on him to just finish people at this point. It's like Urgot has completed another Brutalizer. Riven hit with the Bloodthirster and likely going for Mercury Treads up next. We do see Zed going for a Mallard Razor, and I'm not sure what's going to build next. Possibly a Last Whisper, but I'm not too sure. Ruby Sightstone up on Lulu, and in addition to another Ruby Crystal, likely going into a Kendall Gem. Looks like Lee Sin might get picked out here in the middle lane. As, yeah, he just does not have the tankiness to deal with Urgot. They do kill Riven for it, which is a decent trade. But the problem is, you still got to deal with Urgot. Zed does jump in, but he does not realize how many people are there and does jump out thanks to his shadows. Mundo will continue to pursue, but Urgot will grab a kill on Talon up top. And this does mean it is another 1-for-1 exchange, but Urgot is here and he is going to clean up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Pick Urgot mid. If you see a Talon or a Jarvan or someone, grab Urgot. Say, I'm just going to completely dominate this lane. And that's exactly what this Urgot has done. It is perfectly how you counter mid lane instead of going Bruiser. Or even someone like Pantheon. If they pick Pantheon, grab Urgot. If he jumps you, pop your shield. And you force him back with the big damage from the Corrosive Charge and Acid Hunter combo. And this will this tower go down? Yes, it will, but they will not stay for the inhibitor, as they just don't have the mana or health at this point on Urgot or Ezreal to really do anything. So Talon was trying to get in range, but decides against it. Probably pretty wise. Looks like the red team is going to go try for Baron at this point, as that is really a good idea. Urgot can't really fight at this point. He doesn't have the health or mana. And the rest of the team will be coming in, but they will be spotted out. Twitch is going to go push mid lane. While this happens, I don't agree with that. Twitch really needs to be in this fight, as it is a fairly early Baron, and their team is not that tanky. Baron going down fairly low. Oh, we do see not a whole lot of competition, as Talon does jump in onto Urgot, but the ultimate from Lulu keeps Urgot nice and safe. The question is, will they be in range? No, as Lee Sin does get taken down by Riven. And they just didn't have the damage without Twitch there. And that is a triple kill for Riven. And this should be a Baron for them as well, as Riven can tank this up all day long. And this should be a pretty easy win for the blue team. Twitch might get caught out by Ezreal. But Twitch is forced to flash away. Will he have the mana? No, he's just going to go down to the golems, or the Ezreal jumping in on him. Looks like we do see the blue team posturing up to go steal this inhibitor, as there's not a whole lot that can be done to defend it. Talon is up, Nunu as well. But I don't think they're going to get there and do the damage in time. So Talon is just trying to harass this Riven. Riven is going to be fairly safe. Mundo and Riven have come out. And they actually do defend it, as there just wasn't enough damage. But they did not get a kill off that little bit of overextension. Bloodthirster has been completed on Ezreal. But you see Urgot with the last whisper now, in addition to another brutalizer and Glacial Shroud, and Lee Sin is going to take some big damage here, but not go down thanks to a nice kick at the end and flash. But Nunu might, as Lulu is here to slow him just barely with the edge of that. Looks like Lee Sin wants to come in here, but no, Urgot is here to say, "Rawr." Looks like Zed has picked up a last whisper as well. Twitch has opted for the Zeo instead of finishing off that Infinity Edge, really just needing something here. Mundo is pretty low and will be taken down thanks to the... No, Lulu is out of mana, so Mundo might be able to get away, but he just doesn't have any real way of doing so. He looks like he's just stalling more than anything, but Lulu does pick him up on the end. Who's sent up top is going to be pulled in by Urgot, and Urgot's going to... And Zed's going to finish that kill. Urgot is going to jump in on Twitch. And Twitch gets almost taken down. Looks like Talon might be able to get on Urgot, but Talon will pay for it with his life, as Urgot does finish him off with the last tick of that corrosive charge. At this point, looks like Lulu and Riven are just going to back up, and they're going to say, hey, let's take all the jungle, push all the lanes out. Looks like Twitch is going to get this kill onto Zed if he wants it. Yes, he does. As he does have to pop the ult thanks to that Nunu snowball, keeping him in range just barely. Mundo has completed the Warden's Mail. Likely going to go for just more armor. Riven going to solo Dragon here, as there's no one here to stop her. Ezreal has picked up a Phage. We do see another Brutalizer picked on Talon after the Black Cleaver. Lee Sin has picked up a longsword. And not a whole lot else new. Twin Shadows and Shirley's Reverie up on Lulu. Zeal completed on Ezreal as well. He's going for a Trinity Force. Looks like Lulu's going to go for the Shard of True Ice next. I'm not sure he's going to have room to do everything with all those keys, with all those active items. Looks like another Bloodthirster up on Riven, as Riven's going to be incredibly strong. Urgot has picked up the blue buff and is looking to cause some terror. Twitch has actually completed his Infinity Edge at this point. Age the Legion almost up on Nunu. And if they can get a good fight where Twitch is protected and the blue team groups up, they might have a chance to win this. But I'm not sure they're going to be able to, as Urgot could easily use his hyperkinetic reverser to just pull Twitch in and have the rest of the team kill him off. Looks like Lee Sin does come in here, and Nunu's ultimate does hit for a little bit of damage. Twitch trying to run here at the end, but he just does not have the ability to get in these fights. Looks like Twitch is still trying to fight these minions and just does not have any way to get in here, and he is taken out. And that should be a good game, unless Talon can do some real work. And while he does get almost get a kill off that, it is not enough. Good game. And this just goes to show you what happens when every single lane wins. And it also shows how to counter that really annoying bruiser middle meta by picking the bruiser, the range bruiser extraordinaire Urgot. Pick him, win middle lane, and really just dominate the game. That's what it came down to. In addition to that, every single lane won. No lane was really ever behind. And that's basically what happens when every single lane wins. It's a pretty heavy snowball. The red team had a few chances to make things happen, but their team comp just wasn't strong enough to really pressure things in the mid game. Thank you for watching Games Cast by PanderNyrl. If you wish to see more, follow my YouTube and Twitch pages below.